Welcome to this week's episode of Our City News. I'm Stephanie Allison. Fitchburg City Council votes on a $1 million study on Crocker Elementary. Our City News observed Martin Luther King Jr. celebrations here in the city. And the Rotary Club comes together in support of local high school bands. All this and lots more coming up next on Our City News.
And now, the latest news, sports, and weather with Stephanie Allison and the entire Our City News team.
At this week's City Council meeting, Fitchburg councilors approved a $1 million study of the Crocker School to find out the best options for an improved facility.
Some will say this is an either-or decision between City Hall and schools, but that is simply not true. A 2016 study of capital needs for our schools puts the cost at the lowest estimate around $117 million. With or without City Hall, that will be a challenge. The best approach to address this challenge is to leverage state resources to build new buildings. Even if we put all of our borrowing capacity towards schools, we couldn't fund a single one. That's not one.
City councilors also approved a $1 million allocation to begin the City Hall renovation project. The project will be funded from free cash, with the vote 8-1, with Councilor Sam Squalia voting no and Councilor Anthony Zarella recusing himself.
The cost of renovating City Hall is a topic we don't take lightly. Investments in our city's infrastructure need to be strategic and deliberate, and we believe this project is both. Many people talk about the costs of renovating City Hall. What we need to talk about are the costs of not renovating City Hall. Costs we believe far outweigh those of this project. This project is about economic development. You've heard it over and over again this evening, and will help increase our revenue and provide us with the opportunity to focus on other citywide needs.
The race to become the next site of Amazon's second headquarters narrowed considerably Thursday as the internet giant released its short list of 20 possible contenders. More than 230 cities had applied to become the future location of the internet giant's HQ2, dangling tax incentives and other goodies hoping to turn their hometowns into boomtowns. Amazon said in its announcement Thursday that they will be now working with the candidate locations to examine their proposals more closely and request additional information to evaluate the feasibility of future partnership that can accommodate our hiring plans as well as benefits for our employees and the local community. Amazon said it would make its decision later in 2018. City residents celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day this past Monday. Our City News was at New Patriot Congregational Church as they took a look back on the civil rights leader's famous speech.
I have a dream.
Celebrating Martin Luther King Day right here at the New Patriots Congregational Church on Westminster Street in West Fitchburg. Glenn Foster for Our City News has more.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident.
And as we celebrate Martin Luther King's involvement in moving equity forward socially, police have an important role. And celebrations like this prompt us to bring those communications forward. Chief?
I couldn't agree with you more. It's so important that the police department, law enforcement community in general, that we're part of the community, not being apart from the community. It's gatherings like this are extremely important that law enforcement's represented to send a message to the community that we are part of the community. And it's in events like this that you leave here and you take that back to your organizations and you remember why we do the job. And it's this type of brotherhood that I see here today that makes me really be proud to be part of this community.
Pastor Tim Martin moved the crowd with his rendition of the famous I Have a Dream speech.
Pastor Tim Martin here at the New Patriot Congregational Church right here in West Fitchburg. With me, Barbara Nealon, the director of the Human Rights Commission, and of course the Honorable Mayor Stephen DiNatale. What an incredible celebration today, and you, Pastor, an awesome job representing Dr. Martin Luther King. A message today, real quick for our City News.
to remember Dr. King, remember what he represented, and what his work meant, to America. I do the reenactment of the I Have a Dream speech because I believe that it resonates with the people, particularly those who were of age at the time that King actually did the speech. It really takes them back to that time when Dr. King did the I Have a Dream speech. And I do this speech also because I believe our young people today who may not have been living during that time frame, they need to remember, they need to be aware of who Dr. King really was and what his message stood for, and allow those words and the meaning of and the message of his speech and his speeches, his sermons, to be able to be grounded in them, to guide them and direct them in today's society.
In our local community governance, we had spoken with the police chief, of course, a very integral part of the fabric of the community, the things that tie it together, the military folks here today that spoke, and how they represent sort of government. In another way, Barbara Nealon, director of the Human Rights Commission, another integral part of how government reaches out and keeps a community together.
Oh, it's engagement, and in a positive way. I think the lessons we learned, again, each year we walk away with something new. But again, dignity, respect. There's great opportunity in the city, and for us just to continually join together, all as one, solidarity as one people.
And the remarks today from you, Honorable Mayor, again, reiterating how we're blessed here in Fitchburg to really be ahead of the curve, I think, in a lot of what we do diversity-wise.
Minister Lyle said it best at the beginning of the event, talked about the police chief and the city, and how inclusive we've always been. The city's always been that way, will continue to be, certainly now and in the future. We don't look at the color of the skin. We look at you as a participant in community. So very, very important. We're all in this together. And this is one more demonstration that the city of Fitchburg is about that.
Celebrating Martin Luther King Day here at the New Patriot Congregational Church in West Fitchburg, Our City News continues.
Last week's record cold weather caused frozen pipes in many area schools and homes. Glenn Fossa stopped by the New Players Theater Guild, where they also suffered a flood due to the extended cold snap. Glenn?
We're inside 15 Rollstone Street, the New Players Theater Guild. We're dressed for the outside because we're just getting to that point where it's being restored after a pipe break and a leak. There's now a GoFundMe page, a lot of restoration to take place. Bill McGrath with me. Bill, sustained heavy damage, but do you think you'll get through it?
I believe we will. We have spoken to the insurance company. They understand that what caused the problem, and they say it was a 100-year cold snap, and could have happened any other year, but it happened right during the blizzard this year.
Certainly weather-related, and you're not unique to that claim. Some of that cost, of course, will not be recoverable by insurance, and you guys have a GoFundMe page set up as well.
Yes, we do. It is gofundme.com/NPTG-campaign, and that'll allow you to make a donation of any size.
New Players Theater Guild at 15 Rollstone Street, sustaining some damage after a pipe burst, now looking for the community's help. Glenn Fossa, Our City News.
If you're looking for more information, you can check out the New Players Theater Guild's Facebook or nptg.org. We'll be right back with more news right after this.
You're watching Our City News on FATV.
With the winter season in full swing, getting around the area can be tough. As New Englanders, we're used to dealing with slick roads and traffic jams when the snow moves in. Plow drivers have been working around the clock to keep our roads as clear as possible, but you should always use caution when heading out. We talked to Fitchburg DPW Superintendent Lenny Laxo to find out more about how they keep everything moving during the snowstorms.
As the flakes continue to fall right here in Fitchburg, Commissioner Lenny Laxo with us from the Department of Public Works, telling us what's going on in our city. At Fitchburg Department of Public Works headquarters, the director and, of course, Superintendent Lenny Laxo, our own Lenny Laxo. Many, many years, of course, with the Department of Public Works. Lenny, the DPW out hard working and times like this with the season upon us and a lot of snow. A little update on what's ahead for us.
Yeah, well, we're in the middle of finishing off this storm. We got maybe 4 inches, so in another hour or two we'll be calling the plows in. So yeah, this one went well. Yeah, today we had about 25 of DPW plows out there and another 70 private plows. We usually have the city plows come in first, and then once we get good 3 or 4 inches of snow, then we'll bring in the privates to help mop it up.
As Commissioner, the Mayor has spoken to us before about the extensive use of contract plows to backfill those areas that DPW just can't get to during storms, and a little bit about that.
Yes, yeah, it would take way too much time if we relied on our own fleet to plow all the streets, so when we bring in the private plows, it can be done that much quicker and much more economical also, given that our brand new full-size plow costs about $220,000. So it'd be a tough nut to crack to to buy a whole fleet of brand new plows.
There seems to be a push towards return on investment. Contracts give you the opportunity to call out when you need them, giving you an opportunity to sort of look at that budget in a different way.
That's right. Yeah, we're lucky to have the private plows. It really makes a big difference to us. And yeah, so every Labor Day or so, we're looking for people to sign up for the coming winter. So if you're interested, give us a call next September.
With Commissioner Lenny Laxo here at the Department of Public Works in Fitchburg, Our City News continues.
Fitchburg Rotary Clubs presented checks to both Fitchburg and Leominster high school bands this week. The annual ceremony provides funds for the schools to purchase new instruments.
A lot of good help from a lot of the Rotarians, a lot of the people from the cafeteria at Leominster High School were a great help to us. And of course, all of the local businesses who donated not only supplies for the breakfast, but took ads out for the placemats and for the program. It was a really great event this year. Actually, one of our better in quite some time.
I mean, the two Rotaries coming together is a tremendous support to our program at Fitchburg High School, and I don't want to speak for Leominster, but I would assume the same. You know, our program does amazing things. We're so fortunate to have Tabitha, who came aboard, I think when I did too, in fact, 7 years ago, and she's really transformed our entire music program at Fitchburg High, with people like Maritza and Teresa. But it takes support. I mean, these things are not cheap in order to run them. Instruments are expensive. We look at instruments, sometimes they're $1,000 for one.
Anything that I would have to say has been said, but a big thank you to both clubs who are tremendously supportive of the music programs in Fitchburg and in Leominster. And without your help, a lot of the things that we would want to be able to do, us being able to go and compete every single year, this is our 4th consecutive year earning a gold medal during marching season, so being able to pay for our buses, our entrance fees, all of those things to festivals and competitions would not be possible without the support of our band parents organization and without the support from both Rotaries and from our communities at large who come and support the event for the Breakfast for the Bands. It's just amazing for myself and our musicians, to see the community outpouring at this event is unbelievable, to see so many people who all are coming together.
Now let's go over to Matt Carroll with this week's sports report.
Hi, this is Matt Carroll. Today is January 19, 2018, and this is the FATV Sports Report. We start with local sports. St. Bernard's playing Leominster. They win 68-58, so big area win for St. B's. The girls also in action. They lose 55-43 against Notre Dame. Boys hockey also in action. They lose to St. Joseph Prep 3-1. We also have Fitchburg High in action tonight against Algonquin at 7 p.m. The girls also play Algonquin at home at 7 p.m. tonight. Boys hockey, after a very good weekend, they will be playing St. B's this upcoming weekend at 7:30 on Saturday. And boys basketball from Monty Tech are in action tonight against Bay Path at 7 p.m. And the girls also play Bay Path on the road at 6:30. So big conference games coming up for Monty Tech. Sizer boys, they play St. Mary's tonight at St. Mary's in Worcester at 6:30. And the girls' next game will be at North Brookfield on Tuesday at 6:30 as well. You had Leominster girls in action last night. They win 61-45. Fitchburg State Sports men's basketball lose 77-64 against MCLA, and the girls also lose to MCLA 82-53. Men's hockey wins 6-4. That's a big conference win for them as they played Framingham State last night. We now go to pro sports. Celtics lose a tough one without Kyrie, 89-80. The Bruins win 4-1 against the Canadiens. That's a second win against the Canadiens in their last 3 games. We now go to the NFL. The big news is the Patriots will be taking on Jacksonville for the AFC Championship at 3:05, and the Vikes will be taking on the Eagles in that second game at 6:40 on Sunday. Again, my predictions haven't changed. I'm still picking the Patriots to beat the Vikings. The key to that, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The key to that game is Jacksonville's secondary is very good. I think the Patriots need to establish that run game, especially with Brady with the hurt hand. Came out earlier this week that he had a accidental contact injury in practice. He was able to practice yesterday with gloves on, with the cold weather. I'm just wondering how this is going to affect Brady. It could be a blessing in disguise to get that running game going anyways against a very good Jacksonville secondary. I think they are able to get the running game going with the Patriot experience. I think they're able to take this one. A well-balanced defense. They're able to hold Blake Bortles, who shows signs of struggle at some points, and Fournette, who was a little bit banged up last week, if you can remember. I think they're able to hold those guys. I think the Patriots win this game and go to the second consecutive Super Bowl. The Vikings and the Eagles, again, this is always a tough pick. I think the Eagles defense finally folds. The Vikings are well balanced on the offensive side of the ball, especially after the emotional win against the Saints. I think the defense has been great all season long. Also, if it does come down to field goal kicking again, 3 points for the win, the Vikings have that advantage. I don't think it comes down to that. I think the Vikings win this easily. And I think for the first time ever, we're going to see a home team in the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl, if you can remember, is going to be at Minnesota. So I think it's going to be the Patriots and the Vikings for the Super Bowl. Again, this is Matt Carroll, and that's the FATV Sports Report.
Young students learning more about the business world will someday be leading the way as they head up the ladder. Glenn Fossa talked with one young lady who is right on track for a bright future in the world of business and finance.
Aaliyah Grady has been recognized for helping out New Patriot Congregational Church this morning. Just a recent graduate of Bryant College in business, and this is an awesome celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King. So as a woman, as a business major, how do you take his message forward?
I think that his message is pretty much action, so bring action into your community and helping out the community and giving back.
So as a business student, and of course communications, maybe marketing as a minor, how will you integrate that into your future forward?
So I think that comes with the ethical portion of business, so keeping the ethics and the community in your forefront in your mind when you're putting out these messages and you're marketing to people.
Excellent. More from us at Our City News right here.
Rheingold School was buzzing with activity this week as graduates of the Safety Patrol program got a special treat. Fitchburg police officers also joined in the fun and the celebration. Pizza and a few laughs were part of the reward, and not to mention a few cupcakes. Let's take a look.
Gabby a bear? Ryan and Chavaria. Jasmine Rowley Hernandez. Tatiana Martinez. Alex Varela Gerard. Michaela Spence. Peyton Griffiths. There we go. Isaac Aponte. Crowley Evangeline Yang. Lucas Silva. Madison Garten. Emma Stone. Alexandra Picone. Kiana Yang. Hi outside. Please freezing cold morning and afternoon. And Joselle Ramos. Everybody, we are so... I don't have my last one. Mia Newton. Come on up, Mia. Good job, Mia. We could not be prouder of this fall safety patrol. You were so respectful, you were so responsible, and you took your job of keeping everybody here at Rheingold Elementary School safe so seriously. You guys were one of the very best safety patrol, and I thank you, and you did a magnificent job. Way to go. Now we're going to celebrate. And we're going to celebrate by doing something really fun. So we have some policemen here to help us. And we have a lot of cupcakes. Please come up. Congratulations.
All right. Miss Mia Newton, good to see you. How is it being a patrol leader?
Good.
Yeah, excellent. And what do you like best about it? Is it the colorful belt or anything else that goes with it?
I don't know.
Excellent. Here at Rheingold School, we're going to continue to march on that one.
Say hi to the TV. We're on TV again, guys. What do you guys think of this cupcake? It's got a little bit of
with Lori Stone, and of course we have with us Principal Clark from Rheingold, Chief Ernie Martineau, all together at the Cops with Cupcakes. PTO got behind this, and this was a great thing. Tell us about its inception.
At the Safety Patrol back in November with Sergeant LeMay, he had mentioned he wanted to get more, community involved. So we had talked about the cops, coffee with cops, and I said, why don't we piggyback off that and do cupcakes with cops? And we wanted to start off small, so Mrs. Clark had mentioned we should do it with our Safety Patrol, so it all intertwines. And hopefully, eventually, we can get more events involved with the school and maybe even throughout the district.
Martha Clark, this is pretty innovative up here at Rheingold. It's not our first trip. You're doing more.
Well, it's not innovative. This is a AAA program run by the AAA of North of America, and this is our 5th Safety Patrol group. We do a fall and a spring because there's so much interest and so many students want to be leaders, and it's really been a great experience for our students, and we look forward to a lot more years.
And we've heard how safety patrols help the police department, and we couldn't say that even greater than the Chief of Police himself being engaged with this.
Absolutely. This program is near and dear to my heart, and I was so happy to find out that Principal Clark was bringing it back to life in the Fitchburg public school systems. This is such an opportunity for young children to gain valuable leadership responsibilities at a younger age that will last them a lifetime. Just a quick fact, I was proud to be a safety patrol officer many years ago at Crocker School. So this program is not new. It disappeared for many years. It's exciting that it's back. It's great to see a school principal take that to such passion, and just to be out here with the kids today, it's exciting. It's something I look forward to each and every year.
The American Automobile Club certainly involved in this as well. And we are Our City News, and back to
you. This week on FATV. Tuesday at 7 p.m., Barbara and You with author Mark Bonanza. Wednesday at 7 p.m., discussing Fitchburg Now. Saturday at 4 p.m., FSU versus Worcester State Hockey live. And on our government channel, Tuesday at 6 p.m., the Finance Committee meeting live. Thanks for watching Our City News. This episode is brought to you by KCMC Management, our local Dunkin' Donuts. If you have a story you'd like us to share, check out our Facebook page or email us at ourcitynewsfitchburg@gmail.com. For all of us here at FATV and Our City News, have a great day. And remember, spring is right around the corner. Hang in there, Fitchburg.